digest. From lane to the new shining ground, echo chants where the legends are found. Heroes carved in the heart of time, we march on through grit and grime. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly high. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly high. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Echoes of King and Greaves in the air. Every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward, fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise a banner, let it fly high. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise a banner, let it fly high. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire.
Hi guys, and welcome to THFC Till I Die, home Tottenham past, present, and exciting future under Thomas Frank as he leads us to glory. And yes, this is Newsbeat. This is the transfer window roundup of the day. All little bits and glips, rumours, bit of rumours around the more news on the Morgan Gibbs right deal as well, because I've got the very latest on that as well. Just let me put that up on my other monitor so I know exactly what I'm going to say. Let me get it for you there, guys. There it is. Yeah, there we go. Right. And yeah, anything that comes up, of course, we're bringing to you first and fastest, as we always do. Any breaking news, anything that pops up within the stream. Tequila is going to join me in about 10 minutes, so he's going to join me tonight for a little bit of banter and a little bit of thing. But how are you all? It's Thursday. We're, 72 hours away, or 48? Are we 48 hours away? Yeah, I think we're 48 hours away before the first preseason game of the 25-26 season. And I tell you one thing, can't wait. I'm so looking forward to it. Really need. Yeah, I need the Simon Jordan, Tequila, as you said. I do. I need the man who is Simon Jordan. We don't know what Tequila looks like. Now, I reckon it's Simon Jordan's alter ego is Tequila. I reckon, just putting it out there. But let me know, guys, how you feeling. Give Jordan a call. But anyway, guys, let me know, and we will talk about. I'm going to talk a little bit as well, guys. Tonight, I want to start this off with Tequila gets in, and I will bring all the news up when Tequila gets in. I welcome a few people in, but I want to ask you a question. It was banging around in my head last night after last night's show, and I was doing a little bit of looking around, and I saw the bill Nick Gates are being put back up, and I put a question into our members chat in a WhatsApp group. Have Tottenham lost their soul? And Wayne Bonner, who's been a fan as long as I have, I think for 40 odd years, came back to me and said that Tottenham maybe getting a little bit of the soul back. And I want to know from you guys what you think. Over the last 24 years, did Tottenham Hotspur lose their soul? Did the spirit of Bill Nick completely disappear from the club? And we were soulless. We were not the team we were. And suddenly under Ange and now with Thomas Frank, have we now got a little bit of our Tottenham back? A little bit of belief that we can go on and be successful. So I wonder, guys, what you think tonight. But let's welcome a few people in. Of course, we've got Giant68. He says, big up, Dermo and chat. Big up to you, Giant68. Doing any new players in before the weekend? Look, I'm half expecting Morgan Gibbs White to be announced between now and Saturday. If I'm being honest, I don't know what the hold up is for that. So you never know, but there is a few players we're interested in. There's a few also players that are looking to go out as well. So we'll give you all that this evening. Big up to Anthony Lynch from West Cork. Big up. It says, evening, Dermo. Please, some good news. Well, you never know. You never know what happens. You never know in the next hour or so. Anything can happen. Anything can break. Anything can be sent to me. So, yeah, well, let's see what happens. Big up to Hog God 10 as well. Big up, James. Hope you're doing well. Good evening, Derm and chat. Big up to Hog God 10. We've got Tequila, who's joining me in a few minutes. Said, you need a sexy guest, Dermo, a man who backs the courage of his convictions and who maybe owned Crystal Palace. I reckon you are Simon Jordan. I reckon you're just his alter ego, to be fair. But who knows? Big up. Hi, Dermo. Lots to talk about. Athenia, any updates? I'm waiting. The problem is I'm waiting for a massive update from the people I use. And he's been busy, of course, with all the other stuff he has to do. But I'm hopefully within the next 24 hours, I should have a major update for you. But I do have a little bit on Morgan Gibbs White, also about Paulinia as well. And also a little bit about an interested striker. That's all I was told, that Spurs are also interested in the striker from Spain, but need to shift for Charleston. A little bit about Richie as well, because another Brazilian club has come in for him as well. Big up to Wayne Bono. Says, good evening, everyone. Hope you're all well. Hope you're good or naughty. Either works here. Well, if you're going to JSY stream, Wayne, that will be your cup of tea. It really would be. I had such a giggle in there last night listening to the girls talk. A great channel as well, guys. So do get over there. The three of them are great crack. Some of the songs, Wayne, would have been right up your street. Honest to God, you and Carl, you would have been in seventh heaven last night. I think with Conte, Mourinho wasn't our DNA. Ange and Frank seem more like us. The Gates would definitely help. However, as much benefit it may have, Saudi investment takes us. So, look, I think it does. I agree with you, Neil. Look, I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite. Look, me and Philip Brady before the last World Cup, we were very critical of the Qatari and the Saudi Arabian and all their sort of, I'm not going to go down the road, but the human rights bits is well documented, is well out there in the news. But I think if Saudi Arabia did come in and buy the football club and buy the football side of it, I think every one of us would be an absolute hypocrite, because every one of us would turn around and say, right, we're going to now go to the next level. And I think you have to be very honest with yourself. Are you going to really sit there and say, I ain't going to support Tottenham while this ownership's in charge? I would bet you any money between, a pound to a penny, every fan be absolutely delighted because they've got rid of Enoch and Levy. Look, if I had my way, I prefer an American owner. If any owner is going to come in there, and that's just my preference. But if a Saudi Arabian owner came in, you would be a hypocrite to say, you'd be cutting your nose off to spite your face, saying, I ain't going to support this. Of course you are. Of course you're going to support. Of course you're going to support this. Of course you're going to get behind, because they'll have the money to back the manager with the players that we need to bring Tottenham to the next level. So he says, also, in my opinion, I get you. I do get you. But how would you feel, guys? That's the question for you. If we got Saudi Arabian investment, how would that make you feel? Would you feel a little bit uneasy with it, or is it, sod it? It's they're backing our team. They're coming in. They're putting money into the club. So it's a hard one. But for me, I think you just got to go with it. You got to roll with it. You got to slip the punches. Just roll with it, slip the punches, and go with it, because you got no other option. You're either going to be sitting out there on your own, or we're all going to be complete hypocrites and say, right, we're going to get behind this. I'm sure some Newcastle fans had their sort of own moral, thoughts on this and morally where they stand. And I think when it comes to your football club, you just want your football club to win. You want your football club to become the best in the league. You want your football club to be the most successful team in the league, and you want to get there. And you look at Newcastle, they didn't win anything from the 60s. They won something last season. Now they're going to want to build on that. And Newcastle have been spending quite wisely in the summer, this summer as well. So look, if it came to it, it was a Saudi owner. Look, you get behind it. Of course you would. Of course you would. And it'd be the club, and you want the club to succeed. But my own opinion, I prefer American owners. But look, you take what you're given. Look, I'm not trying to say that I wouldn't support the club or I wouldn't buy anything. Of course I would. I buy stuff now. Now, to be fair, under Levy and Enoch, I buy all my tops and all my Tottenham home tops. I mean, I've just bought the new home top and last year's away top and the third kit. I am getting the away kit and a hoodie next week for under €100. You go to Spurs, expect you a whole kit will cost you near enough 150, 200 quid. So I'm refusing to pay that. I wouldn't pay that amount of money. But let me know, guys, what you think. We've got Giant 68. I'm waffling because I'm waiting for Tequila just to get himself set up, or Bootleg Jordan, as he's calling himself. He says it lost its soul when Old White Hart Lane went. Do you know what? I think so as well. I think the day that stadium went was the day the music died, as the song goes. It was the day football died, I think, within Tottenham. But look, we've got to make the new stadium our home. We've got to make it our very home. Can you hear me? Or are you still tinkering away there?
Just tinkering away.
Okay. Did Tottenham lose their soul? I asked that question last night, Tequila. And I just wondered, did they lose their soul a little bit? Have they lost their soul over the last 24 years?
I wouldn't say they've lost their soul, no. I wouldn't frame it that way. Identity and soul. I don't think identity and soul are exactly the same thing. They've lost their identity a bit. I wouldn't say they lost their soul. The soul's still there. It's just a bit suppressed. Not depressed, suppressed.
Yeah. Yeah. And look, I was just talking about Saudi ownership or American ownership, and a lot of people, when the World Cup came around in Qatar, there was a lot of people saying it shouldn't go there and everything. Where are you on it? I mean, I just said we all will be hypocrites if Saudi came in and bought the team, the club. We'll be all hypocrites because we will be behind it. Where did he go? I will come back in. And Jarrett Giant says, "Big up, right? News, right? This is what I've got for you guys. This is what we're all here for, not me waffling about Saudi takeover. Right, let's do that. Tequila will be back in a minute." Right, I'm going to have this run across the bottom of the screen for a little bit, guys. It is reported that Morgan Gibbs White turned down a new contract at Notts Forest.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. And demanded to be released from his contract due to Spurs meeting his release clause. Player now in talks with Premier League and PFA to discuss the legality of the Forest actions. Look, we had Dan on the other day, Tequila, about this. Has it got a bit stupid now? Do you think Forest, right, you made your point, but the play we did meet. I mean, there's a rumor tonight that Spurs have gone in with a £65 million offer for him, a second bid. Do you think if they have gone in with the 65 million, that 5 million is just to smooth the way to let Morgan Gibbs White come to Spurs?
I reckon this chairman Don't know him personally, but how he comes across, I don't think he cares that much about the extra 5 million. I think it's more about him saving face and how he's going to come across now. I think the only way I think this probably goes through now, unless Levy offers even more, if you start pushing it up to the 18 million mark, is he worth 18 million? I have my doubts. But if they start pushing it to that mark, then they might have to sell at that. But it's going to be up to Gibbs White. If he really wants to join Spurs, unfortunately, and no, we don't like seeing this. If it's one of our players, we wouldn't be happy about it either. But he needs to make a fuss. And we don't know. He needs to make a fuss. He needs to maybe put in a transfer request, or he needs to make it very clear, at least privately, if not publicly, that he wants to go. I'm not condoning that because we'd hate it if one of our players did. But...
yeah. But he has said that today. He says he wants this sorted out by Monday before Nottingham Forest go off in their pre-season camp to Portugal. So he has said it already.
It's obvious. It's obvious that he wants to come. I think that's pretty obvious by now. Yeah. He wouldn't have agreed personal terms in the first place if he didn't want to come. But it's just like, I think he's going to have to, unfortunately, paint himself as the villain and push it through himself. We talk about player power all the time, Dermo, and they have a lot. Yeah. They do. If he really wants out, he'll probably get out. But I think he's got to do something because otherwise, I can see this just going round in circles. He's going to end up being like that bloke we were after from Chelsea. What was his fella's name? Remember every week we were linked with him.
Gallagher.
That's it.
Yeah. Look, I think I think personally this will be done before Saturday. I do. I think it'll be done over the next 48 hours. I do. I really do think next 48 hours, 72 to 48 hours, I think it'll be done.
If it's not, I think we should move on because I don't think we want to waste the rest of the transfer window chasing the one that got away, particularly, and leaving us.
Well, I think. Look, I think as a club, you should be able to go on multiple fronts, go after multiple players. I mean, if you're a club at Tottenham size, I mean, if you're just going after, you can only do one transfer at a time. I think that's pretty ridiculous. I get your point about moving on, but I don't think we should let this one go because he desperately wants to come to Spurs. Spurs want him. Thomas Frank wants him. And if Thomas Frank wants him, then he should go. And I think Tottenham should have enough about them to say, right, we'll have a team on this deal, we'll have a team on that deal, and we'll have a team on this deal.
I don't really mean move when I say move on. I don't mean to other positions. You're right. There's no reason why that shouldn't happen. But if we're after for argument's sake, let's call him a box-to-box, a number 8, then I'd like to think that we have a short list and there's more than just one player. So I think we need to be progressing now to try and get the backup in. Even if we don't actually go for, we need to put in, because this could drag on and on, Dermo. This could be one of those things that drags on until deadline day. Don't tell me it can't, because it easily can. And you know what Levy's like with deadline day. Don't be shocked if he ends up arguing with them the whole summer, and then at the end of the transfer window, he finally says, "Okay, have your 80 million," and then they accept it on deadline day.
There is rumours that actually Forest have done that. Tottenham are now counter-suing or counter-writing to Forest because they haven't done something legally. So Forest are not cleaning this, by the way. And I know, look, as I said before, and we said it the other day, Tequila, tapping up happens everywhere. Do you know, it happens everywhere. It happens in business. It happens in sport. I watch Formula One. How much tapping up goes on in Formula One? I mean, like, you're looking at the moment, Max Verstappen going from Red Bull, possibly to Mercedes. And Toto Wolff is openly saying I want Max Verstappen in my car. They were talking last week in Geneva. I mean, if that isn't tapping up, what isn't? And we know it goes on in sport. We know Tottenham have tapped up plenty of players. We've
seen Levy meeting with managers before managers have been fired. Do you remember? We saw him meeting with Ramos before
Isak Martignol.
Yeah. Another reason why I just really I dislike the man, but that's not the point. The point is that we know that he's done it before, and would be naive to think that they don't all do it. Dermo, I bet you every chairman does it. Every one of them.
Jordan even admitted he did.
Yeah, of course.
The other day.
Yeah, of course he did.
Yeah. Look, it's right. Look, it's part of the game. Tapping up in football's been there since the day the game started.
And as you said the other day, there's lots of ways to do it as well. If you don't do it directly, then you get a mate of a mates to do it. You do it while they're on England duty or international duty, or just friends in real life. You know, you get an ex-player who used to play with them. We know. Come on, It's called networking. Everybody networks. Everybody does it. So
everyone does do it. Just want to say, Giant 68 says Tequila, big up to
big up,
you.
mate.
Big up to Gaza 991 says my feeling is it will be sorted tomorrow for Morgan Gibbs. Well, I think so. I reckon by Saturday it'll be sorted. Big up to Rhino. Big up Rhino. I hope you're doing well. He hasn't been too great recently. Big up Rhino. So I hope you're doing well, sir. Hope you're feeling better. And I think you're on tomorrow with me and the podcast. The podcast is tomorrow, guys. Dave can't make it because of Dave's not very well at the moment, personal reasons. Got a bit of a cold, so he says I can't make it, Dermo. So that's fine. He will be back. I think in the weeks or so time, in 2 weeks' time, I think we'll be back. But Paul and Ryan are joining me tomorrow at 1 o'clock for the podcast. So it's going to be interesting. And then Paul's joining me tomorrow evening.
And I can't, unfortunately, Dermo, I can't make it tomorrow afternoon. I've got a hospital appointment.
I know
So
that.
I can't make it, bro. Sorry.
I wasn't thinking that's why I've got Ryan and Paul coming on, because I know you can't make it all the time, man. So that's fair enough. So yeah, joining me tomorrow, and then of course we've got the podcast on Sunday, the football deal will die, and also we've got the watch along. I can't wait for the watch along, Tequila. I am so looking forward to the watch along. I can't wait to get going, to get watching along Tottenham. Watch Tottenham. It's been a long summer without the Spurs, and the mighty Spurs are playing again. Had to pay for my Spurs play today. 53 fecking euro.
Screw that, Dermo. Screw that, Dermo. You've got a VPN, mate. You don't need to.
Yeah, but I know I'm not going to spend hours trying to look for a stream. I might as well just get it off Tottenham. You know,
I can't bring myself, and I haven't in about 12 years. I used to buy. I told you before, Dermo. I used to buy the end of season DVD every single year.
Yeah,
I had to stop because I could not, in good conscience, this is just me personally, give my money to Daniel Levy. I couldn't.
You can find them on YouTube, by the way.
And that's the only way that I'd be willing to get them now, would be to find them like secondhand copies or something, or in CEX or something like that.
I tell you what, I watched the other night the 1988-89 review of Tottenham's review of the season on YouTube.
Yep.
There's some great games. But Ryan says, big up Dermo and Tequila. Why is the Forest owner being so stubborn? Just let MGW free so we don't have to deal with them again.
Because Ryan, it's about saving face, mate.
Yeah.
So it's you know, he's got a healthy ego on him, just like Danny Boy and a lot of the chairman, not all of them, but most of them. So they want to save face. He wants to save face. He wants to be a hero to his own fans. So he can't afford, for his own reputation, to let it go, so to speak. It could be that he might really privately already be like, well, I know I'm not going to be able to keep him now. And this could all be a massive facade just to make sure that he ends up being, here's a term that some people might not know. He might end up being the baby face, the good guy in all this. He wants to come across as the baby face, the heroic, the good guy, the underdog. This is his way of doing it. He might have already accepted that the player's gone. The price might not be quite determined yet, but he might already have accepted, okay, the player's gone. But
if they've accepted 60 million, and that is the release clause, then they can't ask for any more. 60 million is the price. You paid to 60 million. I think what's wrong with him, and I meant to say it the other day, and he only came to me sort of after, and I was kicking myself. I think he's more angry with that he made the asking price so low. And this is why they were trying to tie him down to a new contract. He's without the release clause, and he's turned down that new contract. So I think he's pissed off because, excuse my language, but he's pissed off because I think he goes, Rolex, I've made that release clause too low. Do you know?
Yeah, it could be that. And again, that comes once again down to him protecting his reputation. He doesn't want to come across or be seen as an idiot or as someone who screwed up. You know, he doesn't want that. He wants to, dude, these billionaires with their egos. I mean, come on, Dermo.
I know. Look. I think personally myself, I just think he dubbed Crystal Palace in for the Europa thing, so he dubbed them into UEFA. Yeah. I don't think he covers himself in glory. He berated Nuno at the end of last season. He said something about VAR and something about FFP when Forest got deducted 12 points or points last season or season before. You know, he has a reputation of doing this. Daniel Levy with all these faults doesn't really say much, does he? Apart from the odd time.
Daniel Levy rarely has a media presence. You might hear from
Mm.
him once or twice a year max. No, he isn't like that. He doesn't come out. I say he doesn't come out and say silly things. He said he was going to win the league and the Champions League. I borderline think that's silly, but it's not the same thing as what the Forest chairman does. No, you're right.
Yeah. Look, I just want to bring this out. This is non-Tottenham, but I've just saw it in one of the group chats and it's from Touchline Football Coverage, also by Ben Jacobs as well. Are you ready for? Are you sitting down, Tequila?
Go on then.
Breaking, right? This is all rumor. I don't know if it's true, but Ben Jacobs, he's a reliable source anyway. Saudi Arabia are ready to send Real Madrid a 350 million offer for Vinicius Jr. They're also offering him, are you ready for this? 1 billion a year salary on a 5-year contract.
Can I believe it? Yeah, I can. It will destroy football. I mean, Simon Jordan says this a lot, and I am bootleg Jordan tonight, so I'll repeat what he says. It's stuff like that's going to destroy football.
It is. It's mind-boggling. $1 billion a year. So why would they? I don't know if somebody can actually in the chat let us know how much that would be a week. I know I'm not great with maths.
I can do the maths, but not right now, Dermot. I mean, you just divide it by 52 weeks in the year, innit? So
fucking that.
Someone get a calculator out because I'm too lazy right now.
Yeah. So somebody get a calculator and put it in the chat. 1 billion a year over 5 years. Jesus Christ. Where's for? It's not the game. That the game we loved, I think, it died a long time ago. And also, Tequila, I meant to say it last night or the night before when you last on with me. The football regulator has actually gone through Parliament as well. Now, it's gone to the House of Lords. I don't know if it got voted in by the House of Lords, but it has been gone through Parliament now. I think that's going to be very bad for football, having a regulator, having somebody looking over the game. I think every European league is laughing at us at the moment. I really do. I think it's going to destroy the game completely.
I don't really want the governments to get involved there, mate, to be honest.
No.
It's not going to be an independent thing. Yeah, I just trust us as an Englishman. You don't want our government involved in anything. It destroys most things it touches. I'm not going to get too far into it because this isn't a politics show, but you don't want it touching anything, bro.
Yeah, it did destroy something. Ryan says, is there any new names that we can go and get after MGW or where we get them? Not, we are getting them, Ryan, so don't worry. He'll be at Spurs. Don't worry about it. When are the under-21 friendlies? I will let you know in the next 10 minutes. Let me just look it up. And let me see. So do you want to take the next question there, Tequila?
Have you started?
No, just go down. Hang on. There we go. Talk about that for a minute.
English women losing 2-0 to Sweden.
Yeah.
I don't follow the women's game that closely, but that's not very good, is it? We should be beating Sweden, I would have thought. Yeah,
but that's the other question I was going to ask you. Last night, I was talking about investment into the women's game, and that Tottenham are building a women's academy for the women's side of the game. And a few people are slating it, saying it's not good. They shouldn't be that. But we both know Ellie, who was one of the original Spurs ladies, the first ones to play as a Tottenham lady. She is one of the founding members, I think, of the Tottenham women's side in the 70s and 80s. I think whoever comes in, I think the men's side and the women's side should be invested in equally, because they're all playing for one brand, aren't they? They're all playing for one team. So, and
I mean, that's not going to happen, mate. They're not going to invest. They won't. I mean, if that's what you think they're going to do, they're not going to invest the same amount in a women's team that they would the men's team. No way. No way. They won't. There's not enough financial. Unfortunately, this is the world we live in. There's not enough financial reward for them to put that. It's hard enough to get. It's hard enough, as you know, to get Enoch to invest in the men's side, let alone the women's side. With the women's side, they might do it for publicity. That's different. For good PR, they'll invest a certain amount. but they're not going to invest anywhere near the same amount they would as the men's because the financial. I don't know how much the women get for winning their league, but it's probably peanuts compared to how much
Yeah,
the
but
men's teams get.
they should be though, Tequila. There really should be that the women's game should have investment. Maybe not as much as the men, but there should be investment in. And I've got no problem with them Tottenham building an academy for the women's side.
No,
I think it's a great idea because it brings all the youngsters that are playing that are good enough to come through the system. And that's where you build. Tottenham's only the women's side's only a young side. We've got to one, I think, women's FA Cup final at Wembley.
I've got no problem them doing it, Dermo. It's just I just wouldn't expect that kind of investment. I'd be very surprised if they go to those levels. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Right, guys. Just to let you know about the under-21s, they did play on Tuesday, which I was in hospital, so I apologize I couldn't bring that for you. And they lost 5-2 to I think it was Bromley. They lost 5-2 to Bromley. Now on Saturday, they're kicking off the same time as Tottenham are kicking off Reading. So I am going to cover the men's side. I do apologize, but they are away to Bournemouth. I will keep you updated. I don't know if James might be going down to that game. I will ask him if he is. And if he is, we'll get the pop on at halftime, give us a bit of an update. Tuesday, the 22nd of July, 9:45, where they're away to Leyton Orient for the Justin Edinburgh charity game, because Justin Edinburgh, who sadly lost his life a few years ago, former Tottenham defender as well, former Leyton Orient manager as well. So Spurs playing there. And then the under-21s then finish up on the 26th of July. That's the same day again. We're playing Luton. It's unreal, this. We're away to Woking. And then on the 5th of August, we are away to Enfield at the Queen Elizabeth II Stadium at 7:45. Now, if Tottenham are not playing that night, guys, I will cover the under-21 friendlies can, but during the season, any under 18, under 21, we'll be covering it live here on the channel. Any good youngsters? You're going to be watching the academies this year? Tequila, seen we're covering it. Will you be taking a bit of a closer eye to it?
I'll have a look now and again. It depends when they're on, more than anything else, Dermo. It depends when they're on. If you're covering it, I'll probably end up watching some of your shows, and since you talk about them.
I do know what this season. I'm throwing myself into as much content as I can because I really want to build this channel up as much the way we can. Before, but I want to be at 3K this time next year. That is my aim. Big up to Tony YouTube. I think you're joining me tomorrow night, Tony. So hopefully you can. It says 23 million a week ish.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Jesus Christ. And big up billion a year. It's Messi.
You know what, Dermo? If that was me, I'd
I'd
do 1 week of training, and then no one would ever see me again.
Yeah.
I'd clip my 23 million. Because I'm not. Look, I can live. Look, I can live with 23 million. That'll get me by the rest of my life. No one will ever see me again. Dermo. Take my 23 million.
Happily put a hamstring. Oh, I can't play, boss.
Yeah.
Sorry. You still get paid every month, Tequila. Like.
That's true.
23 million a week.
Yeah.
Oh, my hand. Are you fit enough to play Tequila? Oh, my hamstring's a bit sore, boss. Nah, gaffer. Give it another week. That is just crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
Why would he ever need to play football after that? Let's say he spends a year there, gets the billion. Mate, retire, buy an island or two, hire, buy yourself 20 yachts. And all loads of pretty women every night. You know, I'm going. Don't bother about nothing else, bro. If you're getting that much money.
So basically, you do what you do that now. You've got yachts.
Live the way I live.
Live the Simon Jordan way. Guys, let's get into it. Let's get into some of the news about some good news, some bad news, some rumors, and some little bit of. I did a bit of research today on one player. Which I think might be coming to Tottenham. I was on Transfer Market and they gave it a 29% chance it might happen. So, might happen. But this is how much we have spent so far this year, this season, so far this summer. We've had 8 players out, 13.5 million we've got in, but we have spent so far on 12 players 140.6 million. So overall balance already, we're down 127.1 million so far.
What 12 players have we signed? We haven't signed 12 players, have we? What 12
I
players?
think youngsters as well. I think that's the youngsters and plus we've signed 5 players. So for the first team, but it's for the academies and places like that. But that's how much we spent so far. These are the 5 players we actually bought. We bought 25 million from Danso, 5 million for Tataki, 63 million we've spent on Kudus, and 35 million on Tel. I'm quite happy with them so far. 5 signings in. Are you, Tequila? Are you a little bit underwhelmed by them?
Well, I think it's a little. I won't use the word sneaky, but I don't like it when, like Danzo.
Yeah,
I consider him a last season signing. Tel, I don't, because Tel was on loan. I consider Danzo a last season signing. They might not, but I do. So for me, I don't include him. So I look at the other. Just for me, this is how I look at things. I don't think we should have bought Tel. I think we should have given him another loan. I think.
Yeah, I said that at the time as well. Actually, you both said that.
I don't know enough about the young chap from the Asian League. J League. Did he come from J League?
Yeah, I tell you one thing. I've watched highlights of him, Tequila. He is a baller. He really is. He is a great. He's a great little player. He really is.
He's one for the future, so I'm not going to be too harsh. But I like the price tag. This has been my problem with Archie Gray. Not the lad's fault, of course, but there's a difference. You buy a youngster like this Dermo for 5 million, and then you spend 42 million on Gray. This is more in the Bergville kind of. This is what you do if you're going to buy youngsters. These are the kind of youngsters you get: low fee, low risk, stuff like that. With Gray, and it's not the lad's fault. I'm not blaming him himself. But massive expectations on that poor lad, because 42 million for a player who never even played in a Premiership, insane. But this kid is more like a Bergville. So hopefully, if he's anything like Bergville, we might be onto a gem. Kudos, I think, is a good player. I don't think he's a world-class player. I think he's a very good player, and he's got potential, and he's a good age. And so Jazz is kind of right. It is a little bit disingenuous, not from you, Dermo, but it is because 2 of them feel like last season's signing.
Yeah, they are. I get it. I do get it.
If you want to be critical, if you want to be, you can probably say we've only really signed 2 new players.
Yeah, I think you're right to question it. I think you're right to say that. I think you're right to say that. I think Jazz is spot on by that. 2 players, 25 million, 35 million are from last season. So, so you've only spent what, 63, 4, 5, 6, 7. You've only spent sort of 68 million.
Like I say, I look at it that I will include Tel because Tel was alone. I'm not, but my eyes are not including Danto, but I am including the other 3. So that brings us to about what, more or less 100 million.
Yeah. Look, I was with you. I want to Tel under another season loan with an obligation to buy at the end of that loan. I like Tel. I think he offers you a lot. I think he offers you something different. I think his enthusiasm, the way. Do you remember when he came on against Liverpool in the League Cup and he was shouting and berating Sonny? I mean, that's what you want. You want a player like that. And then he scored a very good goal away to Aston Villa in the FA Cup, which we lost, but he did score.
Yeah, it was a good finish. Yeah, it was a good finish.
Good finish. So, look, I do think, I think Danso's a good buy as well, to be fair. I think when we had the obligation, I think Danso did quite well.
At that price, I think he's a sudden enough player. I don't think he's a world beater, but for that price, I think that's a decent business for that price.
Is it a bit of a steal? 25 million.
I don't know if it's a steal because I'm not sure he's going to be a starter. I think he's the 3rd choice centre back, and if you look at it from that squad game, I think 25 million for a 3rd choice is pretty good.
Yeah. Do you know what? I will get to the rest of the comments. Big up to Darren Kilbane. Big up, Darren. Hope you do well. He says, apart from Kudos, we have done very little. Gibbs White in the balance. We had Tel Danso last season. We need to wake up. Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Chelsea are miles ahead of us. I wouldn't disagree with that, to be fair. Why City are allowed to still buy players? They signed a deal with Puma today for $1 billion.
Oops. Yeah,
But for $1 billion. I mean, that is
crazy.
just, you're talking about £1 billion player getting $1 billion a year. How are Man City allowed to do this with all the charges against them? And it's still, what we now? We're what? 30? Are we? How many weeks away from start the season? Probably what? 12 weeks? 11, 10 weeks? No, 8 weeks, 7 weeks, whatever. I don't know what it is, but
it's end of August, isn't it? So you're looking at
no, the Premier League starts the. Sorry, I'm just checking my.
that's 6 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, the 8th. Manchester United playing on the 8th of August on the Friday. That's the first game. So yeah,
The 8th
you
of
really
August.
are.
Okay, you're looking at 3 weeks then.
3 weeks then, and we still haven't sorted out the Man City stuff. I mean, how ridiculous! And it just really just.
You know what, Dermo, and also I thought it was later on in August. There's only 3 weeks left, and I must say that when you're saying that to me, my impression now, what's just come through my mind is like, wow, we haven't done much at all, and there's only 3 weeks before the start. It's actually it's actually like, well, okay, we actually haven't done very much at all. We've got we've got Kudos, and we've got a young chap, the young Korean chap.
But to be fair, if the first chairman hadn't been an asshole, then Gibbs White would have been in the door as well, and we would have spent 60-man players within 24 hours of each other, or 48 hours of each other. So really, I don't think you can blame Levy on Gibbs White. I think it's Forest that are making an ass of themselves. And Gibbs White would have been in. So you'd be looking at 6 players. You would be looking at Tell, Kudu, Tataki, and Gibbs White. So 4 players in. So you would have spent well over 100 million. I mean, look, Jazz says here, you pick up 70 million for Højbjerg. I think letting Højbjerg go is an absolute. I think letting Højbjerg go out on loan last season was a mistake by Ange. And I will always say that because I felt Højbjerg would have offered you something in that midfield when we were really struggling. And I just think letting him go, I think that was one of the wrong decisions that Ange made. Personally, myself, not because I'm a massive Højbjerg fan, and not because I think Højbjerg still could have done a job for Spurs.
When I think of Højbjerg, Dermo, I don't think he's an amazing player, but I think one thing he's got which nobody else in our midfield has, and that's some steel.
Yeah. I always go back to Keeler to the game against Chelsea. Remember when we lost 4-1, 4-2 against Chelsea, and he cleared the ball off the line. His reaction after that told me everything I needed to know about that man. He told me everything I needed to know about his passion for the shirt, for the club. And I think Ange made the right mistake letting him go. I agree with you. I don't really agree with you. I think he's a better player than you give him credit for. Where I will agree with you is the passion side of it. I do agree with you. I think
Demo also. I mean, this is just my opinion, of course. I don't think we expected our midfield pivot, for lack of an argument's sake, let's say the 2 lads in midfield, to be so bad. And I include Bissouma in that. I think he was bad. I think he's ended up being quite a failure at Spurs mostly. I think Sarr is overhyped by us because we're desperate for our youngsters. I think Sarr's okay, but I don't think he's anything more than okay. And I think they were showing up a lot last year. Ange's tactics played a role. Of course they did. I'm not absolving him from any of the blame. He takes his share. But I don't think any of our central midfielders are lighting the world on fire. Bentancur was good until his injury.
Yeah.
Since he's come back, he's not been able. Hopefully he can, but he's not been able to get back to his levels before the injury. And I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
So, but we didn't know that. When we agreed to let Højbjerg go, I don't think we thought that we'd miss him as much as it looks like we are.
As we did. We did really miss him. Big up to Jessica. Hello, Jessica. How are you, honey? Don't think we're done yet. There will be a DM style player, centre forward, left wing to come with potential left back and centre back too. Yeah, I got a message the other day saying we are bringing a centre back. Another centre back is coming into the club. We are getting another centre back. So we're going to get another one. And striker for me is essential because I don't think Solanke. Look, Richarlison could be going to Brazil. There's 2 clubs in for him in Brazil, and they're willing to pay 55 million euro for him. So you get that for him. But also we're going through here. Big up to Jessica, and also big up to Terry White as well. Coming. Good evening, gents and chat. Big up to you, Terry. Tequila, these are the rumors. There is a rumor going around that Dragusin could be off to AC Milan, Basuma could be off to Juventus, Brian Hill could be off to Greece. Tottenham are in for the player from RB Leipzig, Luis Obende, and also Tottenham are one of the clubs, as well as Liverpool and Arsenal, for Irish defender Nathan Collins. Now, let's talk about Dragusin and Basuma possibly going to AC Milan, Serie A, going to AC Milan and Juventus respectively. Basuma, I think, needs to go. For me personally, I think he needs to move. Dragusin, do you know what? Everyone seems to be quite hard on Dragusin. I don't think he's as bad as a defender as everyone's making him out to be. But with the defenders we've got coming in, is he going to be surplus to requirements? I think he is. And I don't think his agents helped him either, by the way, with all the debacle that when he wasn't getting regular football, his agent was popping up every 5 minutes. Oh, he might be going off to this club. He might be going over to that club. So on the 2 players there that could be going out, would you agree? There's 50 million there for both of them. That's their current value, 25 million each.
I think that value is probably about right. I think we paid 32 for Dragusin. I'm just remembering. I don't think he's increased his standing at all since he's been there. No. So that sounds about right. And Basuma for me has been poor more than he's been good. He's had the occasional. I'm not saying he's never had a good game, but more often than not, he doesn't. At least for me. So I'm not unhappy to see either leave. And Dragusin is a bit of a shame because he obviously has something about him. When you see him play for his international side, he's much better. So does that just mean that he just doesn't? Maybe he's not a happy chap. Maybe Dermo. Not everybody acclimatized to England. Not everyone likes living in England. It could be that he doesn't like living here, and maybe that's why his agents put up such a fuss, because the lad's been unhappy since day one. And if that's the case, then he should go. And also, it looks like that Danzo's gone ahead of him in the pecking order, so he'll be 4th choice. I doubt with him, if he was unhappy at being 3rd choice before Danzo came in, he's not going to be happy at being even further down the pecking order, is he?
But if, as Jessica says here, Frank plays 3 at the back. He says Dragusin is great in the back 3. Just watch these games back in the 3. But he did play well in the Euros. I have to say he really did. But if he does play 3, then is there a shout to keep him around? Because you're going to need 6 centre backs, then, aren't you?
If Frank's going to play 3 at the back, I think if you're going to play 4 at the back, I think you need at least 5 first choice centre halves. Yeah. If you're going to play 3 at the back, I think you need at least 7, maybe even 8 first choice, first teamers who are centre halves. You're going to play 3 at the back. If so, there's no. Is he going to be happy being 6th choice? No, but I'm just saying that, it depends. If Frank's going to play a 3-5-2 or a 5-3-2, whichever you want to call it, then or a 5-4-1, then by all means keep him. But I just think if it's only going to be a 4 at the back, look, the kid obviously ain't happy, and he's now further behind the order. He ain't going to stay. I don't think he's going to stay for another season if they say to him, "Yeah, mate, you're 4th choice." He ain't going to put up with it.
I don't think he will. Frank also likes a 3-4-2-1, 2 10s, 2 6s, and 8s. Yeah, he does. Big up to Terry White. Says midfield needs a rebuild. Bentancur and Son need to be upgraded.
I agree.
Christopher, I think I know you're. Look, I'll get your thoughts on Son in a minute. Christopher Inshaw says here, Tequila, Tottenham Hotspur understood. This is by Ben Jacobs. Understood to have genuine interest in Wolves midfielder Joe Gomez.
Joe Gomez. Yeah.
Joe Gomez. I would not say no to that. I like him.
Yeah, he's a good player. Do you think that he is The backup for if Gibbs White doesn't come.
No, because I think Gibbs White will play more as an 8, box to box midfielder. I think Gomez could come in and play as a 10 and battle it out with Madison with the 10.
But a lot of people have been saying that Gibbs White plays the 10 though. So
yeah, well, I look, he does play a 10, but I see him more as an 8 personally. Just my own opinion. I see him more of an 8. We need that box to box midfielder. We need that Roy Keane type, Graham Roberts type midfielder.
I wish we had Roy Keane. You saw what I put in the members chat.
Yeah. Did you see what? But I had the pleasure of watching Roy Keane play for my country, playing for Ireland, and it was like
you must have lived vicariously through him, Dermo, because he carried. He was such a passionate man. He must have been great to support a man like that.
Yeah, he carried us to the 2002 World Cup. He really did. He had his beef with Mick McCarthy, and it's coming out in a film, I think, this year, the Sapan internet. Oh, what happened in Sapan? I'd be interested to see, because at the time I was very much, how dare you walk out of the country before a World Cup? How dare you let your country down? You're an embarrassment. But as years have gone on, and as I got older, I saw, and it's more come out about it. I'm more going to Roy Keane. Do you know what? You had a point. You don't go to a World Cup and not be prepared for it.
He wanted higher standards, Dermo. You got to remember, this is the captain of Manchester United, won all these titles and all these titles, right? So listen to the man. He's obviously knows how to win. He dominated English football for many years under Ferguson, and obviously Keane was his captain for a lot of that. Yeah. Listen to the man. If he tells you that standards are not high enough, then do something about it. That's how I feel. Yeah, I'm not Irish, so it's easy for me to say, I guess.
I know, I agree with you, but at the time when it happened, I was very much, you're a traitor. And I would say to his face as well, if he ever came on here, I'd say that to him as well. I said, I felt.
Are you sure you'd say that to Roy Keane, Dermo?
I would. I wouldn't back down. I wouldn't back down from him. You know me. You should know me well enough by now. I do not back down. You know me well enough by now.
You better not have a training match with him then. Any point after that.
Yeah, just as Haaland's father, what happened in the Man City.
Yeah.
He held that grudge for a while.
Yeah.
And also Patrick Vieira when they tried to fight him in the tunnel.
He was protecting his mate Gary Neville. Gary Neville was sitting there being all meek, and there's Roy Keane defending him. Bless.
Just very quickly, I'll just want to go back, and then we'll get to the chat quickly, because some people are big up to Johnny. He says, "Oi, oi, 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 legends, big up." Ryan saying Dermo can be fiery. See,
he can.
Nathan Collins, plays for Brentford, played under Frank. Look, he hasn't. I know if Dave Harris is watching, he's probably going to chuck everything soft at the telly at the moment.
Do you hate him? Does he?
Yeah, well, he played shit for Ireland. Let's put it this way: Ireland hasn't been the greatest international team in the world, and he hasn't basically played well for us either, especially under that Egypt, who I will not name because I never wanted him as manager in the first place. I never liked him. I never wanted him. And within 15 minutes of watching him in his first game against Ukraine, I wanted him out. And I stood there for 2 years, anti whatever his name is, because I've forgotten. He's moved on. We've got a new manager now. We've got a Scandinavian king in charge who's going to take us to the World Cup.
I thought you weren't that impressed with him either. I remember you covering their first game.
No. I'll give him a chance now. He's going to get us to the World Cup. I'm giving him a chance. But Nathan Collins, do you think that'd be a good move by Frank to bring in a player he's played with before and also Premier League proven?
Can he cover multiple positions, or is he just a centre half?
I think he's a centre half. He can play left and right back, I think.
The only reason I say that is because I'm not sure he starts for us. I think if Dragou goes, I can see him being a like for like with Dragou, who is going to be probably fourth choice, I would think. This is assuming Romero stays, right? I'm assuming Romero's staying at this point.
Romero's not going anywhere. Romero would not be going
anywhere. If he's all right to come in, obviously he's going to know the manager, which is going to be a massive bonus. He'll know the manager will know him. But I can't see him starting. Like I say, he'll be a squad player, and I guess for a squad player, I'll go with the manager if he thinks he's. The name doesn't jump out at me as being like, wow, I can't believe we're in for him, Dermo. You've said it yourself; he's not that impressive in international level, so I'm not exactly giddy about signing him. But
no, but I think what he does give you, he gives you that bit of I won't give up. Do you know what I mean? He'll give you that dogged, a bit like Seamus Coleman for Everton. He'll give it his all. That's what you want. He played for the shirt. He played for the badge. He may not be the greatest player in the world, but he'll give you commitment, 110% commitment.
I think we should be looking for better, but for that price, and if that is the price range we're looking at, then probably you're not going to get anything that much better for. Well, that's in euros, isn't it? So you're looking at about 25 million or something. So for that price nowadays, that probably is what you're going to get. Do I think we should be aiming higher? Well, yeah, but
are you looking at over 30 million quid in pounds?
No, pounds is less, isn't it, than euros?
No, because I paid for it was £45 for Spurs pay, and I paid €53.
Yeah, so it's underneath. So I mean, you put 28 million euros.
Yeah.
So.
Whenever I go over to England, I lose money. When I come back, I always gain it coming back. But when I go over, I lose money. I lose from euros to pounds, and when I come back, I gain from pound.
It's about 25 million off the top of my head. I'm going to say.
Yeah.
So,
Christopher Inshaw's big up to Chris. Also from Ben Jacobs, Tottenham have been linked with Japanese central defensive midfielder Kashu Sano for a while. So that's something to look out to as well. Now, there is a striker there, Tequila, which only Tottenham are interested in. This is his name is Luisa Opende. He is a centre forward, second striker, and an attacking midfielder. These are his stats from last season. Now, in the Bundesliga, he scored 9 goals out of 33 appearances with 9 assists. In the Champions League, he scored one goal in 8 appearances and 2 assists. In the German equivalent of the FA Cup, he scored 3 goals in 4 appearances. So total for the whole season, 45 appearances, 13 goals and 11 assists. Now he can play as a centre forward, second striker, or an attacking midfielder. Now, on transfer market, his current value is around 50 million euro. I mean, I got tonight as well from the people I use that we use that Spurs are also interested in a striker from Spain, but need to shift Richarlison before making any serious moves. Are you would this be a good buy for Spurs? Or do you think you want a more prolific goal scorer of somebody like a Vlahovic or somebody like that up front?
I think as our main striker, I don't think the goal return is high enough for the main striker. That goals and assists, for example, in the Bundesliga looks quite similar to what Solanke did, I think. Yeah. So I don't think as our main striker, but if, for example, for a Richarlison replacement, then I think he's an upgrade on Richarlison. But if you're talking about a 20 goals, right? Every team wants a 20 goal a season striker, right? We don't have one, and I don't think he is either. That's.
I think the problem we've had, Tequila, was Harry Kane did both roles for us.
Well, yeah, that's Harry Kane did. Yeah,
and when he left, we now need 2 strikers to do the 2 roles. So. We've rarely shot ourselves in the foot because when we sold Harry Kane, we should have got the 2 strikers in to fill his role, and we didn't. And we've suffered for that. How many points did Harry Kane gain us within his time at Tottenham? How many times did the points he gained got us into the 4th place Champions League football, or got us a point out of a game, or won us a game?
It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, I think Harry Kane probably gave us an extra 10 points a season. Like, I actually believe that. I think if Kane would have been in Ange's team, for example, we would have had at least 10 points more.
Yeah,
for the 2 seasons he was here. Kane is that good. He scores. If we're in a tight game, it's 0-0. Kane's a player who can score out of nothing. And when you look at our players, how many of them do you think? Maybe Kudos is someone who can, maybe.
Yeah.
But But before Kudos, let's say, how many of our players have got that bit of magic in them? Do you really see? Maybe Madison, maybe.
Yeah. Look. I think Madison does. I think Bergville was very good last season. I thought he showed a little bit of magic in the midfield. Some of his games were he played very well in some of the games. And some of the games you looked at what he did in midfield, Tequila, he was quite impressive. I think if you're going for a striker up front, I'm saying it again, Brennan Johnson as a striker. I think Brennan Johnson can move from the wing to the striker. I think that's his position because he has the talent of getting into the 6-yard box and being there at the right time. You look at all the great strikers, Tequila, over the years, that Gary Lineker, Gerd Muller, over the years. You're looking at who else? You're looking at Scalacci, players like that, all over the years. What they did, the bread and butter was the 6-yard area. You know, they got the goals.
I just can't see him leading the line. I think if you're going to play Johnson up front, I think you need to play him alongside someone.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you know, maybe him and Solanke. I mean, somebody who's watched Brentford probably more than me. How often did Frank play 2 up front? Was he known for playing
Frank
2 up
does
front?
play 2 up front. I think he has done last season.
Maybe him behind Solanke or playing off Solanke. Maybe.
I think Solanke's more of a. I think you need a number 9. I think Solanke's more of a not a number 10, but as a second striker to play off the number 10. I don't think Solanke is your number 9 that's going to get you 25 goals, 20 goals a season, 15, 20 goals a season. I think Solanke's more of a second striker, link up with the number 9, and then link up then with the player that's playing on as the main striker. I think that's where he's good at. How many times did Solanke come deep last season?
Yeah.
Do you know? And there was nobody up there. If he had a second striker up there to link up with, I think you would have seen more goals from us. And
we used to say the same thing about Harry Kane, no Dermo. All the time we'd say, why is he dropping so deep? The reason is because he had no creativity behind him. The idea is meant to be is that Madison and players like Bergville are meant to provide the creativity. Yeah. Solanke shouldn't be dropping deep to have to get the ball. That's not what he should be doing, is it?
Yeah, but also don't forget Harry had Sonny. They had such a telepathic relationship together that Harry would drop deep and he would do a pass and Sonny would be there. Or Sonny would do a pass and Harry would be there.
Do you see Solanke as much of a creator though, Demo? I don't. I'm not saying he can't ever do it, but I don't think that.
I don't see him much as a creator. I see him much as a striker that he's not going to be your striker that's going to get you 15, 20 goals a season. He's only done it once in his career.
Yeah, but I said that, and I was shouted down for being negative. I said that he's not that player. Why be paying 65 million for a player who's not going to get his 20 goals a season? I didn't get it. I didn't get it at the time. I still don't. No. I don't hate the player. He works hard, and I thought he was okay. But if you're spending that kind of money, I thought you want more. And maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. No, I think you do. I think you're paying that money. You want somebody to score you 15, 20 goals a season. Yeah. You pay that for a decent striker. I'm not saying Solanke's not a decent striker. I don't think
I think he's okay. I just don't think he's.
I think Solanke sort of. We were very underwhelmed when we bought him to Gilly. You and me both were on air that day when that news came through. We signed him, and we both went. He proved me wrong during the season with his work rate, with the way he was a team player. He done very well, and he impressed me. But is he the man to lead the line to get you 15, 20 goals a season? Is he the man to grab you a point when you're 1-0 down, not playing well? Is he the man to nip in to get you the winner in injury time? I don't think so. I think he's more the man to be on the build up and be in the build up and set up the main striker for the goal. I don't think he's going to be that man. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. Maybe under a Frank system, you may get the best out of him. Maybe the Ange system wasn't good enough for him. We just don't know, do we? And we won't know until I think we're at least 10, 15 games into the season under Thomas Frank to see how it's all panned out. But at the moment, I think we need that striker. We desperately need a striker that's going to be up there and
I
scored
just,
15,
I
20
just,
goals.
I
really
just
do.
look at I just look at the teams. I mean, this is me assuming here, right? Assuming the
Yeah,
idea is to compete for top four. I use the word
yeah.
compete. That doesn't mean we're going to finish. Compete for the top four.
Mm.
I don't think Solanke gets into any of the top four team as a striker.
No, I think no, I agree. I agree. I think Solanke gets into probably to. Would he get into a Newcastle? Probably. Would he go into Villa? He'd probably fit a Villa side.
I mean, he wouldn't. He wouldn't. Isaac would blow him away. I think that's fair.
Yeah,
Assuming they even let's. He's still a Newcastle player at this minute, so let's say that he's there. I
yeah.
mean, no. I mean, Isaac would blow him away, but Isaac blows most strikers away. But
How about Solanke at Manchester United instead of Hoyland?
I'd probably put them in quite a similar bracket. Actually, I think
Yeah,
they're of a similar quality. Obviously the difference is that he's a lot younger, so he's a more chance of him improving. With Solanke, I'm not saying he's the finished article, but what is he? 26.
yeah. I think he is 26. Yeah,
So I'm not saying he's certainly not washed up, but he is kind of in his prime now. He might not get any
yeah.
better than he is. Whereas Hoyland, he's much younger. There's still a bit more room to grow. But some players bloom much later than others, so who knows?
Yeah, but look, I just think that look, I'm just looking up. Where's Solanke now? Where is he? I can never find him. Oh, there he is, Dom Solanke. So we've got Solanke here. Last match stats season 27. He played 27 in attack. Please give me his goals. Okay, here we go. This is his players that he had a 20.5% conversion rate, and the minutes per goal were 245.1 minutes per goal. Total shots, including block shots, 44, shots on target, 26. He only scored 9 times in the league. 2 left foot, 5 right foot, 2 headed goals, 2 left foot goals, 5 right foot goals, 2 headed goals. In the last match stats, did he play the Europa League final, or was he injured?
Didn't he come on? I'm sure he came on.
Oh, yeah. But I think the last match he played 66 minutes, he scored 16 touches, 40% pass accuracy on 1 shot. That's not a player that is gonna. I mean, during his time at Bournemouth, 38 Premier League games finished as joint 4th highest goal scorer in division, netting 19 goals across the campaign. In the Championship, he scored 29 goals in 46 appearances in the Championship.
Yeah.
And he's only the Championship's not Premier League level, but I'm sorry, I think we need a better striker than what we have. And I know Boris loves it. I know Boris thinks.
I know. Boris stood by him. And
Yeah.
as I said, Dermo, I don't think he's been a complete catastrophe. It's not like I think he's the worst player ever. I think he's better than Richie for a start. So I just don't think he should be starting every week for us. I don't think he's of that quality.
I think we need an upgrade up there. I think this is where we need to buy a decent striker. Big up to Daniel. 90. It says, big up Dermo. I'll pend 100%. I wanted this guy at Tottenham for about 3 years, but don't be put last season. This guy scored goals in Belgium, Holland, France, Germany. Yeah, I looked at his career today. He is a striker and a half, but is he the man? Right. I do not know what happened here. I think my camera had a bit of a meltdown, so I do apologize. It looks like some funky new design. It wasn't meant to be like that, but here we go. Now, this was reported on football.london, Tequila. I'm really sad by this. I'm angry.
You've been talking about this guy as a future Spurs keeper, so you must be pretty upset. And trust me, Dermo, you know where I live. Why is he going there? Mate, you're going to hate it there. That's all I'm going to say.
Do you know what? We were coming back from England, right? And I fell asleep on the bus, and we were going through Luton, and Mrs. Tron actually said to me when we got to the airport, Luton isn't much to... She called it... I will call it... As anyone from Luton, I apologise. This is Mrs. Tron's views, not the views of myself or the channel. Do you think that's got me legally fine? She called it a shithole. That's what she called it.
I'll tell you a very quick story. I was born in Luton Hospital. Unlucky for me. My mum was so depressed and she was so worried about what I would turn into living in Luton that she sold our house when I was 2 years old. She couldn't wait to get out there as soon as I was born. That's the truth, mate.
That says everything you want to know.
She was concerned about what I'd become. This is what she told me much later in life. Yeah.
Become a Luton fan and go to Luton games. And
yeah.
yeah.
I could have been Dermo. I thought, thank God, eh?
Yeah. Anyway, Tottenham have agreed a fee with Luton Town for Josh Keeley. Now, Josh Keeley there were on talks of offering Josh Keeley a new contract. They broke down. Football.London reported earlier this month that Spurs had been engaging in ongoing talks over a new contract for Keeley, but with an agreement unable to be found. Permanent move now looks to be on the cards with the potential long-term contract at League One side Luton and regular first-team football on the table as well as a chance to push for his international chance. I'm absolutely devastated by that. Absolutely devastated. Not just because he's an Irish coot, but how long have I been banging on about him? Most of last season and the summer as well.
You have, but Dermo, I've got to say, even though it looks like he had a lot of potential, but kudos to the kid, not kudos, not kudos.
Yeah.
To the kid, because we've seen goalkeepers like Archie Whiteman and the like just sit around and nearly waste their whole careers just sitting around for an opportunity at Spurs. And most of the time, it never happens. They're lucky if they play one game a year. So, can you blame him? He probably saw them and thought, "I don't want to be that."
But look,
I don't want to be that, Dermo.
I would have sold Austin and kept Keeley as a third goalkeeper. And I think what really pissed him off was when we bought Kingsky, and that
that pushed him even further down the pecking order, didn't it?
Yeah. Giant 68 says Mrs. Tron is not far wrong.
No, she's not.
So people are agreeing with you in the chat, by the way. Just get her attention. People are agreeing with you about Luton.
She's bang on about Luton.
Yeah, she is. Jessica says, wouldn't surprise me if Keeley deal. It does include a sell-on clause, not a buyback clause. I would have included a buyback clause, actually, personally, but that's just me. When we get first option, if he's going to be sold, then we can develop him, and he does bring it back in. Big up to you, Jessica. And she also says, I think I'll go for Openda and Vechovic. That's our forward line sorted and gives us Mads, Kulu, Oppenheimer, Kudos as our 10. Yeah. Jessica's.
That sounds decent to me as well, but you're going to have to shift some people to make that happen. And I don't know if we can.
Daniel said exactly the same thing happened to Martinez, had a shocking World Cup. People live in short-term thinking, saying he ain't the decent since the World Cup. When Nelly scored 20 league goals every season. Look, I know the kid. Can he crack it in the Premier League? Playing in Europe is one thing. Can you crack it in the Premier League? It's a whole different ball game. It rarely is.
Well, Martinez is a very good player, but he still hasn't left Italy, is he? He's been there for a while.
Well, he wants to go to AC Milan, but Juventus don't want to sell. Is it Juventus? Yeah, Juventus don't want to sell him to AC Milan.
Yeah, I don't know if he's got any really. I'm sure we were linked with him when Conte was here, weren't we?
We were. Who's at Inter Milan? Is it Conte's at Inter Milan?
No, I don't think so. He was at Napoli. No, he was at Napoli.
Oh, he's with Napoli. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Inter Milan manager went to Saudi, didn't he? He was linked with us. Yeah.
Well, Inzaghi, wasn't it?
Yeah. That laugh was just because the killer's so excited because we might have Saudi owners. So that's just the killer getting excited.
Oh yeah.
Morgan Gibbs White, not again. Sets transfer deadline as Tottenham to start making second. But yeah, they did. They made a 65 million bid. We've talked enough about Gibbs White, so we are going to move on. But I'll read it out anyway. The outlet, says the Sports Web, says that the ball's in Tottenham Hotspur's court at the moment. Thomas Frank men have discussed making a second offer worth 65 million euro. However, no such offer has arrived. Well, I think it has because Chris Cowlin said it had, and I believe Chris Cowlin arrived yet at Forest, and it's unclear whether it would be enough to clinch the transfer. He's coming to Tottenham. Everyone just calm down. He's coming. Just some chubby Greek.
Oh, I don't mind anymore. I don't mind anymore, Demo. He's a good player, but it's starting to,
coming.
it's annoying me now. So it's just like,
yeah. Well, the kid, you're so you got your name printed on his shirt and everything. I know you've told me that. Now
he has
this
got a good
is the
name.
one. This is the one you've been telling me about. 47 million midfielder is now keen to return to London after holding fresh talks with Tottenham this week. The Boot Room Football understands that Tottenham Hotspur have held round the talks with Bayern Munich midfielder Johan Palmeira in the last week, the Portuguese. Now, I got given this as well, that also Spurs have made Premier League talks with Bayern Munich Premier League over 43 million move. Players said to be extremely interested by the offer and the law of first-team football. Does this fix the problem we might have in midfield if we get this player?
I don't believe it'll ever happen, personally.
I don't know what. I think it will.
I've said this before, and if you guys think I'm wrong, that's fine. But go look at the facts, right? Go look for our transfers over the last 10, 20 years, right? And you can count the number of players of his age we've spent money on. Most of the players we've bought in with that kind of age bracket have been free transfers. Players like Edgar Davies, players like Perisic, right? Yes, he's not quite as old as them. He's just under 30. I think he's 29. There's no resale value. Levy and Enoch do not buy players with no resale value. But they never have, and I'm convinced they never will. So for me, every time these kind of players come up, and I'm right, because we never do sign them. It's not like I'm wrong. Go look at the facts. We never sign these players.
No, you're right. But
so what are we talking about then?
We've done. I'm not saying you're not, but I'm just saying we've done more in this transfer window than we did last transfer window. And I still think... Right,
yeah, but it's the same policy, though. The policy hasn't changed, though, Dermo, has it?
Well, you look at how old's got Morgan Gibbs-White.
He's not 29, is he?
Yeah, but the problem is football has changed over the years. Players are starting to play younger. So
but assets deteriorate. Once you hit that 29, 30 mark, right? Unless you're a freak like Ronaldo, right? Which most players aren't. Unless you're a freak like Ronaldo who can keep up his levels into his mid to late 30s. Most players don't, right? The value goes down and down, right? Levy is a businessman. And until he is completely out of the picture, which I don't believe he is yet, he could be. But as of this minute, I don't believe he is, because the transfer policy is the same it's always been. So I'm telling you, we won't go for these players. There's no resale value. Unless Levy can get an extremely cut price, and 43 million is not an extremely cut price. If we can get him for 10 million or something, Levy might bite at that. No way we're paying full money for this
why
age.
are we paying? I don't know how old Kudus is. He's
23, isn't he? 23, 24?
Kudos. Let me see. He's 25.
25. Okay. That's just about in the bracket. He's a year older than I thought. But yeah. Because if Kudos goes up a level, then in 2 or 3... look, Spurs fans don't want to hear this. I'm just telling you the way it works. In 2 or 3 years, if he goes up in value, then Real Madrid or your like will come in for 100 million, and Levy, if Levy's still around, will go, all right then, just like we sold Bale, just like we sold Modric, they go to that next level. Levy does this with a lot of the players. He doesn't spend that kind of money on players of 29 years old. I think Paolini is a great player, but we should have signed him probably 3 years ago. Levy might have been up for that, signing him 3 years ago. But now at this age, Levy's not going to pay it. He
only played 17. He played 68 times for Fulham for 2 years. Then he only played 17 times for Bayern Munich last year.
Yeah.
He is 30. I do look. I agree with you. That's not. I get what you're saying. We don't go for players in the sort of 28, 29, 30 bracket. I agree with you, and we buy youngsters, right? But I don't. I think this transfer window is different from any other transfer window. When have we ever gone in and matched somebody's release clause? We've never done that. We've never ever done that on the Trump. We've always haggled or gone in really low, and we've always ballsed it up. I just think there's somebody else pulling the strings. I think this is why this transfer window is more different to the one we had last summer.
Well, if this signing goes through, especially the numbers they're talking about, then that will convince me a little bit that something has changed, because up till now, ENIC / Levy, if you want to call them different things, ENIC, Levy, don't put money into players of this age because there's no sell on.
And then
Now,
Gibbs White is also 25, so that we're
Well,
buying
yeah.
2 25-year-olds. So that's
Yeah.
something we've never bought. We've never bought sort of 25-year-olds either.
Well, Solanke, we bought that last year, so he was more or less
Yeah.
in the same bracket there. See, 25 is still young enough to make money on. 29 or 30, you've just told me 30, so it's even worse. So 30, all I'm asking you guys to do is look at Spurs history under ENIC, and you tell me how many players of 30 and above. I said 29, I can now say 30 because Dermot's told me, of 30 and above we have spent real money on. They've either been tiny fees or mostly free transfers. It's a history. We don't do it.
Yeah.
If we do it this year, then maybe that will convince me something's different.
We've spent over 140 million so far this transfer window with 5 players plus the other youngsters we've bought and whatever we've bought within that 12 players.
All players who can be sold on for decent money unless they are absolute train wrecks. There's money we'll get at least some return in our investment. It depends how much, how successful they are, depends on how much we'll get back. But with Paulinho, in 2 or 3 years' time, right, when we don't get anything for him.
No, I think it's a deal that I think it's a deal we might do. And I think I keep saying this transfer window feels so much different to the ones we've had before. And I still think there's something behind the scenes. I still think Levy's not pulling all the strings. I think Paratici could be back there again. But we know Paratici is back there again, pulling the strings, doing the plates. And I just think that we've never bought 2 players in one transfer window of both over 60 million. We've never done that under ENIC and Levy. We've either bought 60 plus million pound player and a couple of little players. We've never spent 120 million on 2 players. It's just
not in quick succession. No.
Do that. We just don't do that. So either Levy spending somebody else's money or somebody else is pulling the strings behind the scenes. Tequila, I would say this again. When have you ever known Levy to go in to a club and say, right, the release clause is 60 million. Right, there's 60 million. When have you ever known them to do that?
Is that a match release clause? Not that often, but that doesn't mean that the policy is not the same. It could be that maybe the guy doing the negotiations is different, which he probably is, which is this guy who we brought in from Arsenal. It could be that he's the one who's actually putting the offers in. But Levy's still going to be the one who says, okay, this is the budget for the season. I said this before, that as far as I'm concerned, our transfer window is more or less proceeding as I thought it would. The only difference might be is that we're spending more money on a second player rather than getting 5 or 6 players of that £20 million mark.
I have to disagree with you. I think you compared to last summer transfer window, I think we're doing better than we did last summer. I complained heavily last summer and I got shouted down. I think me and Dave both said we both got shouted down by saying we didn't back the manager. We didn't back Ange Postecoglou. And we got found out in the end because with all the injuries and everything that came about, we got found out. Yes, we won the Europa League. Brilliant. We won a trophy. But we got found out because we didn't back the manager in the summer and we didn't back him in January either when he needed back him when we were going through all the injury crisis. So this window seems to be either it's Levy or somebody else. But I think Levy's also learned from the mistakes he made after the Champions League final. And I think he sort of looked at it, right, I've gone out and said on an interview, I want to win the Premier League. I want to win the Champions League. You know Carrington's come in. You know there's some sort of a board rift between Lewis's trust and Levy. Vinny's come in. Carrington's come in. And they've probably said to him, right, we're running the show. We're running the football side. You just concentrate on the commercial side. We're going to run the football side. And this is how we're going to do it. I just think that there's something different. And I'll stick to my guns on this. I really will stick to my guns on this.
We'll find out soon enough.
We will find out. And look, I understand what you're saying that, you know, history does precede you, that if you look over the years, yes, you are right in what you're saying. But I'm saying to you, if you take a step back and look at this transfer window compared to last transfer window, last summer, this transfer window is miles ahead to where we were last year. before the start of last season.
I can't agree with that at all, mate. I'm not saying last year. I'm not saying last year's was good. I never ever. I was with you. I was underwhelmed by last year's as well. It's not like I thought last year's window was good.
Was woeful.
Yeah, but this summer I don't see that much difference yet. I think Kudos is a decent player, right? I don't think he's a world beater. We've paid more or less the same money as we did for Solanke, a little bit less, right? And we brought in 2 players who we kind of signed last year. One of them's a loan. I don't agree with the signing of Tell. We've already discussed that. I don't agree we should have signed him permanently. So how is this a fantastic window when I only really agree with one signing?
I never did. I ever call it a fantastic window?
Yeah, but it's no better than last year's. Last year's
for me, it's a better window than last year.
Based on which player has come in that makes it better.
You're paying over 60 million for Kudos. You're paying 60 million for Gibbs White.
Gibbs White hasn't joined us. You can't include that yet.
We know he's coming, Tequila.
No, we don't know. Dermo, we don't know he's coming until he's holding the shirt, taking the picture. Then tell me that he's signed. We don't know that he's coming.
He's going to sign. I mean,
but he hasn't yet, so you can't include him. You can't say we've had a good window because you've got Gibbs White. He hasn't joined yet. After he joins, then you can get back to me and make those claims. Right now, you can't say, Dermo, you can't say he signed for us. He hasn't signed for us yet. You can't say that and use that. You can't use it for this argument. He hasn't signed yet, Dermo. You can't use it.
I'm sorry. If you look, what did we buy last season? Did we back Ange Postecoglou? No. I mean, to be fair to you, it didn't matter if we did or not.
And signed Timo Werner twice on loan. That says everything for me. But
if you look at this transfer window compared to last year, it's a much better transfer window. And I say it again, and I'll stick to this. I'm going to stick to my guns, and I'm going to die on that hill if I have to. I know he hasn't signed yet, but how many have you ever known Tottenham within 24 hours buy a player for 63 million? Right, we're going to buy another player for 60 million.
Not in the same week. No, you're right. You're right. When not in the same week, the speed at which it's done is not like Tottenham. The amounts overall, we would still be within. If we sign Gibbs White and all the other players, the amount we've spent is still in that kind of ball, the amount we generally do spend. So I still can't sit here and say this has been an amazing transfer window. It's not been better than last year. I'd say it's about the same at the minute, but the window's not over yet. This is why I'm saying you can't use that part of the argument yet. You have to wait either until the window's closed and then we can really evaluate it. And you certainly can't say you can't currently include Gibbs White in it. Hopefully you're right and he signs next week, and then you can say to me, there you go. Now it's a better window, and I'll probably agree with you. But you can't say that this minute. He hasn't signed, Dermo.
No. Look, I love having this debate with you. I like it because one thing I like about you, right? You, me have a debate, but we can have a really like we just had. But I'll tell you one thing: there's always respect in that debate, and that's why. I'm not
slagging you off. I'm disagreeing with you, but I'm not slagging you off.
I think you can disagree with someone's opinion, but you do it. You, me, do it because I respect you. You respect me. I just wish there was more of that when people are debating each other. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I just think. Yeah. Don't worry, guys. He just tells me behind the back. He hits me over the head with a base. It gives me a bit of a battering afterwards. You know. Don't worry about it. I'm fine. I'm curious, right? Me and Dermo obviously don't agree. What about people in the chat? Yeah, that's a good point.
You don't have to pick a side. It's not about picking a side. Oh, I get to win. But what do you think? I think you should take Gibbs White out of the equation. If you guys want to include him, I can't stop you. But I'm going on currently at this minute in time. Do you think this window's been better than last windows? I'm curious.
Shawnee says, I think people were mad because you started calling them out and judging mid-window. You guys tended to be right, but most of us were saying we wanted experience plus youth. Yeah, okay, fair enough. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. We've got 60 million is a 20 million player 3 years ago. It's just inflation. Yeah, exactly. Shawnee's with you. So
Thanks,
Team Tequila. Why is nobody Team Dermot?
I'm sure there's Team Dermot.
Yeah, we all know you're because you're the Simon Jordan of the channel. They're all going to flock to you. Yeah. Similar to this point. Gibbs is a big no-no, says Gerard. Now Tottenham are considering Mason King loan after injuries setback. It will be a race against the clock for King to return to fitness once back on the field. Lily White Rose owner John Werner, speaking exclusively to Tottenham News, believes a loan move is on the cards. I think the first thing he would need to prove is his fitness. Werner said he's only got 1 year left on his contract, so he'll need to get back to fitness, and then it would be building up to January. It is really frustrating time to get an injury because I know the club were looking to take him on loan. I know a club were looking to take him on loan this year, and missing out on that opportunity because of an injury is very frustrating. However, I know the club value him very highly. Hopefully he has that opportunity to build his fitness up and gets another couple of years on his contract, and then maybe head out on loan from January. There's a young player could be going out. Now, also, a question here, which we are going to use probably in tomorrow night and probably also on the podcast tomorrow. 5 new signings, 123 million spent. Morgan Gibbs White move, and Tottenham still have a glaring issue. And that glaring issue is a number 6. But I tell you what, Tequila, we're going to leave this to another night, this debate, because I think that is a debate worth having. I think that's on its own show.
I'll quickly add Dermo. I mean, the rumors going around that we want the Wharton from Crystal Palace, but if anyone thinks that Daniel Levy, assuming it's still him pulling it, is going to spend 100 million, you got no chance.
We've got Gerard saying, big up to David Clark, my nemesis. David Clark is my nemesis. He as Tequila brings balance to the force, David Clark's in there ready to jump on him and just a bit like a, you know, the power of the dark side.
Pure chaos. Damn, pure chaos.
Yeah, I like David Clark. Good man. And he's a top fella. Big up, David. Just look at Forest on this list of crazy moments since he had been their owner. The man's not all there.
He's not, no.
He's not. We will agree on that. Gibbs White is now done, so I'm counting him. So yes, it's been a good winner for Joe Lewis. Jesus, David.
Okay, there you go.
My side. Fucking hell. Big up to What's the Point, FC Tottenham, to consider hiring a school bus to bring the children here and there. Big up to Tequila Column as well, a member for 21 months. Wow, that's loyalty.
Yeah, that proves he really is a Spurs fan. Otherwise, 21 months.
It does. But no, can I just say, look, I may front the show, and Tequila does as well. Column does a hell of a lot of work in the background, doesn't he, Tequila? He really does.
You hate the tech guy, isn't he? To be honest,
all the tech stuff, the intros, the advising me on thumbnails and how I do my PDFs now. It's all down the Column. So guys, give him a lot of love in the comments. He really does a hell of a lot behind the back seat, and this channel wouldn't survive without him, would it, Tequila? It really wouldn't. No,
he's very creative bloke. You've seen his VPN. Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, Dermo, did I just remind you?
Yeah, it did. Very much. I'm going longer than I thought. I didn't think I'd be going this long tonight, but I've enjoyed this. Right. Do you want to introduce it, or should we? We'll leave him up there. Now he is a famous actor, or something else, isn't he? He's something to do with LA Knight, but I reckon that's his alter ego.
Well, my feeling. He's still trying to be that WWF wrestler.
Yeah,
LA Knight. He wants to be him. He's got pictures of him on his wall. He's told me this. Pictures of him on his wall. So this was his excuse to try and do his American accent. Yeah. Listen, guys, if you think he does a good American accent, because he says, "Let me talk to you, but I'm going to stop messing about."
Let me start it, and that's what people think. Let's hear this very quickly.
Let me talk to you. A little reference there, but I'm going to stop messing about.
There you go. What do you reckon? Let us know in the chat. Do you think he is actually an American Irish actor? Cillian O'Connor starred in many great films as Doncaster Blinders. He starred in My Left Right Foot. He did star in the Batman film as well as the Doorman, a very famous villain, Batman villain, as well. I don't know what the Doorman would do to scare you.
I thought he was talking about someone else then. Yeah, I remember.
No.
It's
Yeah.
an awful. Even common mitts is an awful accent. There you go. It's getting changed at the weekend. Wow.
But there you go. And here he is talking about our channel sponsor, Private Internet Access, as he chases Batman around Gotham City, trying to get Bruce Wayne to say, get this PDF. You need it for the Batcave. Here's Colin.
Let me talk to you. A little reference there. But I'm going to stop messing about. I'm going to talk to you about Private Internet Access, the best VPN in the land. Now, when you're online, you may not realize, but all of your data is there for the taking by anybody. With a VPN such as Private Internet Access, your data is safe and secure, streamlined, and nobody else can get hold of it. That's why I use one anyway. VPN's very easy to use. Private Internet Access, all you got to do is log on your phone, select where you want to be. So I want to be in America, and I click go, and there we are. You can also link up your devices to it from your phone if that is easier for you. It's available on a lot of platforms as well. As you can see, and you can use it for a very, very big range of things. So that's even better as well. You can use it, like I said, on all your devices, smartphone, tablets, gaming consoles, and stick it on your modem. And it's unlimited devices. One equals all. It's available all across the world, and it works perfectly. What they do is they mask your IP address, so pesky 3 o'clock kickoffs aren't an issue anymore, and they're independently audited, so there's no logs, 30 million customers, and 4.5-star Trustpilot rated excellent review. Private Internet Access. Get yours now.
Yes, get yours now.
No.
Now. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry I had to go off there, Tequila. The bat phone rang. Apparently, apparently Column's running around. I'm chasing Batman all over the place.
There's a lot worse things he could be chasing, Dermo. So
yeah, well,
glad you said
apparently
it was
Catwoman and Batgirl are still there as well.
Oh, but you can have Batgirl, but I'll be chasing Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman. Leave that one to me.
Oh, do you know what? Just very quickly, do you know Julie, the original Catwoman from the original Batman, Julie Newmar.
Yep.
Thank you, Mrs. Tron. Yeah, she was good.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, but you had Michelle Pfeiffer, and then you had Kim Basinger.
I'm
no,
team
was it Kim Basinger?
Kim Basinger. No, Kim Basinger was in the first Batman, but as the girlfriend, she was.
She was in Batman.
She was Vicky Vale. Vicky
Vale. Yeah, who is the one in Batman Forever? No, Batman, the one with Val Kilmer. Yeah. Not Michelle Pfeiffer. She was in the second one with
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton, who is actually my Batman, by the way. I don't know why I'm talking about this. Michael Keaton is my Batman.
Mine too.
Yeah. No. Just no, Sean. No. Halle Berry. No.
Oh God.
No. That film should never be made. That film should be put into a dustbin somewhere, forgotten about, and burnt. Sorry. She was very good as a Bond girl and die another day. I'll give her that.
She wasn't very good in X-Men. Did you hear her African accent in X-Men? Terrible.
I thought she was quite good in X-Men.
Maybe after she dropped the accent, which she did for the later films, but
anyway, let's go just quickly on for the last bit. But then we will finish off because my dinner's nearly ready. And I'm hungry. So let's get there. We got here this last bit. Former Spurs target Johnny Cansado, the American signs for Atletico Madrid. Depending on who you talk to, Tottenham Hotspur have either dodged the bullet or missed out on signing a needed number 6 in the race, which they were in pole position. You'll probably recall that and the exchange for selling the Celso back to Betis, and Tottenham receiving a priority option to sign Casado in the opening few weeks of the window, summer transfer window. However, Johnny was said to prefer signing for Atletico for over a move to England.
we had a chance, I think, but we had a chance. But I think the problem is that I think did nobody bother when we put this clause in place that we'd have first dibs on him, did nobody bother to actually ask the lad? Do you actually want to come to Tottenham, mate?
Do you know? Do you know? I'd love to be in the fly in the wall when these transfers happen. Right, we want that player. Yeah, he's coming. Does then it actually stop? You're right, and say, where would you like to play? I mean,
I'm not sure anyone asked him, and then somebody said to him, "Hey, do you want to come to Spurs?" And he's like, "No, I'm good. I don't want to go to England. I'd rather stay in sunny Spain," which a lot of them do, as you know, Dermo. I don't really want to go to miserable England where it's dark all the time. Atletico Madrid want me, and they're like the third biggest club in Spain. So it's like I'm good.
It's like no, you're going there. It's like in Ireland we have like cattle markets over here, right? We sell sheep and cows and everything, right? It's like that for players. They stick them all in the middle of a market or all in the middle of a thing. There's a fella banging the thing, shouting these figures out, and people going, "Yeah, I love him."
Meat market, Dermo. Meat market.
Yeah, exactly. Just a few more. We'll go over these last few comments. Sean said the film was trash. She was just the best looking one. No, Michelle Pfeiffer.
I'll put her in second place, but I got to go with Michelle Pfeiffer, number one for me.
Yeah. But that was the Batman we grew up with, wasn't it, Tequila?
Well, that's what I mean. Teenage Tequila was very much interested in Michelle Pfeiffer.
I always say it, and I say it now. Jack Nicholson was the best Joker. I know the one that played Joker in the Christian Bale one was the second best Joker, Heath Ledger. But Jack Nicholson, for me, you had Prince soundtrack.
Yep.
You had Jack Nicholson and Michael Keaton. I am sorry, they're the best. They're my number one Batman and Joker combination. I am sorry. That original Batman film, I think, is the best.
I still think that's the best. I agree. You want to hear an argument? I still my favorite one.
Yeah. I'm old. Julie Newmar. Full stop. Didn't Eartha Kitt play Catwoman as well in that original Batman TV show? I think she did.
I'm not sure.
She took over from Julie Newmar. Yeah, Eartha Kitt did. Yeah. Big up to Milton. Big up, Milton. Hope you're well, Dermo. Yeah, I'm a lot better now. Thank you so much. And Tequila, smash the likes, peeps. Thank you so much.
Cheers, Milton.
Shawnee says, I watched him play for US and was horrified. Well, that's all we need to know. That's all we need. He was terrible for us. Well, there we go. We dodged the bullet then. Big up to Shawnee, our American, as well with what's his name? I've forgotten his name. Steve. Along with Steve, our American player watch person. He might have said he wanted to come, but he didn't realize Atletico Madrid was interested. That's true. Whoever wrote the clause or the deal should be fired. Exactly.
Yeah.
Pick up, unsubscribe just for that comment, Dermo.
Which one, Com? That could be one of many comments. Which one push you over the edge?
Many comments. I don't know what I said.
Oh no.
I don't know. He'll come back. Yes, she did, Dermot. Yeah. I just want to know, what did I say?
I thought you were quite nice to him. He didn't like me calling him LA Knight. Did he not like it when you said he was the actor? I think
it was about the Batman thing, saying Michael Keaton was better than Christian Bale. Oh, the Batman and Joker comment. So he thinks Christian Bale and Heath Ledger was a better Batman.
But Com's only 19 years old. He doesn't know any better.
Yeah. I thought he was 18.
It was his birthday the other day. He's 19 now.
Oh, is he 19? Yeah. The
problem with Com is that he lives on a different kind of time frame, so his years are like 10,000 days.
Yeah, we're old gits. You are. Just in your head, think you are 19. Dermot says a lot that could be cancelled. Worthy, you need to be
exactly.
Right, on that bombshell, we'll leave it there. Tequila, do you want to plug where people can find you, sir?
Obviously, I'm on here when Dermo needs somebody to fill in for him. Like I say, I'm going to be Ben Davis. I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm the Ben Davis role. I come in, I can cover a bunch of positions. I come in to be Ben Davis. Lucky me.
Oh dear.
So that means that I never, ever will be fired, and I'll be here until the end of time, just like Ben Davis. But as for my own stuff, I have a gaming channel called The Play Pouch. I'm doing some zombie game called State of Decay. There's going to be Alien Isolation if people like Alien. That's one of my mates is doing that over the weekend. So yeah, if you like games and you like some middle-aged and crazy people playing games, then please join us. Cheers, Dermo. Thanks for letting me plug.
Right. Can I just say very quickly, we just got some breaking news. Can we use it? He's going to let me know. But anyway, while I get permission to use the news I've just got, wait for him to go yeah or nay. Back tomorrow. It's in the... Yeah, I can. Right. Tottenham Hotspur have absolutely no intention, Tequila, of walking away from the potential transfer of Morgan Gibbs-White. The player only wants to join Spurs too, so there's no possibility of another club hijacking the transfer. There you go. We'll leave that on that bombshell. We're back tomorrow at 1 with the Irish Lads Talk Spurs. Me, Paul, and I think Rhino's joining us. And then I'm back tomorrow night at 8. I think Steve might be on with me tomorrow night with Paul as well, as we'll go over the week's news. It's a review of Tottenham's week and a build up to the first watch along on Saturday as we play Reading away in our first pre-season game. And
well,
that's it.
Dermo, it's my last show. Unfortunately, I've just been transferred to Wrexham, according to the chat.
Have you?
They want me to go to Wrexham, so I'll be signing for Wrexham soon. So
No, you're not going. You're not going. You're not going.
Me and Ben Davies are both going to go to Wrexham.
No,
we're going to create the new Welsh and Scottish mafia. Just watch.
No, you're not going. You're not going. I've just signed a new contract, a year's contract with extra Jaffa cakes.
What if Wrexham realise I've got a secret release clause, Dermo, and they've bid
You haven't though. I wrote your contract.
Yeah, but maybe someone else took over. You know, maybe my contract was written by someone else. You took over, like the Forest chairman's claiming, and you didn't realise that.
Well,
I had this release clause.
I'll sue you. I'll sue whoever takes you. I'm going to be the Forest chairman. I'm going to play that card. On that bombshell. See you later. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
From the lane to far